Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Caroline here, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a story time, but before I get into it, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you won't miss another episode from me. So let's get into this juicy story. I know you so well, so well. Okay, so where do I begin? Let's start somewhere in 2017 when I decided that, it was time to put myself back on in the dating world. Okay. I had come out from a 7-year relationship in 2014 and I was ready to dive back in 2017. So I joined an app, a dating app, Tinder to be specific. I said, let me give it a try because one, I'm an introvert. Two, I don't think that I would meet people the regular way. Meeting people in church just was not working out for me. So I said, you know what, Caroline, give the dating apps a chance. It took a lot out of me to try to be open-minded where that was concerned, because I know that you have chances of meeting weirdos and stuff. The probability would have been high, and so I wasn't sure if I wanted to risk it all. Nevertheless, I went, put on my big girl panties, and I dived in. In 2017, I would have met some amazing people, but we were not on the same path, not aligned to do the same things. And I think that sometimes people don't understand that alignment in terms of accomplishments is important in order for you to make any situation or any relationship work. I want to get married. I don't want kids. And so if I am to meet somebody, I think that the person should want to be aligned in that way, because for starters, I don't believe that the whole kid situation, wanting kids, not wanting kids, is something that you could compromise on in a marriage, because one party would be distraught, frustrated, and most times it's the woman who acquiesces to give the man what he wants in terms of wanting a family. I don't believe that should be the case. And so if you don't, if as a woman, if as a woman, sorry, you don't want to have kids, then you find somebody who's on that same level as you are. And if when you all are together and there is a desire, change in heart and spirit towards having children, then so be it. But you need to meet somebody who's on that same mental level with you in terms of not having kids. But that's not what this is about. Um, so yes, I went into the whole idea and the concept of dating again. And so I would have met some people and we were not wanting the same things. I gave up in 2017. And I just said, you know what? Maybe this thing is not for me. Maybe I might meet somebody authentically, organically, somewhere in the grocery, somewhere if I go to church or whatever, I might meet somebody that way and everything would be great. And that also did not happen. So I rejoined Tinder in 2020. Some things happened in 2020 that again had me a little bit depressed, because remember, we were in the pandemic, and some situations happened along the way that I will not get into, that made me realize that I was not putting myself out there. So I said, all right, Tinder has a lot of men. Maybe one will swipe right for me, and maybe that person who swipes right for me will be the right one for me. So I put myself back out there on Tinder, and I tried it again. I swiped right for this guy, he swiped right. One thing I must say about myself is that I am okay with dating older than me, because I've tried dating younger, it did not work out. I've tried dating my age, that also did not work out. And I feel as though my level of maturity might be a little too high for people who are around my age group. That said, I'm okay with dating somebody who is 5 to 10 to probably 15 years older than I am. Don't judge me. So I swiped left. This guy, I was 35, he was 49. I was like, okay, no, it shouldn't be an issue, you know? It shouldn't be an issue. We started talking. The man was boring, ridiculously boring. But I was trying to keep an open mind, because, Caroline, how are you going to find a man if you're going to find issues with every single thing with the guy? I mean, so what? He's boring. Maybe you could spruce things up. That was a lie to myself, because, one, I'm probably just as boring. Let's also put that out there, right? So I was just like, Caroline, you need to be open-minded. You need to not be so myopic in your thinking. Maybe the man's having a hard time. Continue talking to the guy to see where things go. So I continued speaking to him. He was very excited. I think we would have met sometime later in July, late July. So he was really excited. Kept saying, Carla, you're so gorgeous, and I can't wait to meet you in person, and this and that, about how he feels about my looks. And I was unimpressed, because I feel like if the only reason why you want to meet somebody is because you feel that they are pretty or whatever, then give me the ease up. That not making any sense. There should be more to wanting to meet somebody than somebody's looks. And in my humble opinion, I just think that I'm normal. I'm not, So, he kept saying, let's go out, let's go out, let's go out. But we were in the middle of a lockdown, and I said to him, I don't know if you have COVID, you don't know if I have COVID. I'm not risking it all to meet you during this time. Let me see how the numbers go. Let's see what our Prime Minister says, and then we could take it from there. Eventually, Dr. Rowley opened things back up. The numbers went down to about 2 to 3 cases probably in a day, and we were good. So he said, all right, Carla, and the numbers are down. Could we go out? So I said, okay. I said, okay, against my better judgment, because I said, this is not going to end well. It is not. But I still said, all right, let me go. So I called my aunt, and I asked my aunt to look at Corinne for me that night. I messaged him to find out what his intentions were in terms of where we would go. He said, no, you pick a spot. For me, I'm not a difficult person when it comes to going out and eating and stuff like that, right? Because my food choices are very, very limited, so that you're not gonna have a hard time, because I don't eat a lot of things. So I said, let's go Queen's Park, Savannah. He was like, okay, no problem, whatever. What time we looking at going? I told him we can go for about 7 o'clock. He was like, all right, great, that sounds good. This is a Saturday night. He then says, whose vehicle are we going with? So in my head, I'm like, you are asking me out on a date. But okay, all right. So I said, well, we could go with you. And then I thought it through, and I was like, no, we'll go with me. And here's why I said we'll go with me. said that because I felt as though if I was to go out with him and he had to come pick me up, then he would know where I live. If I am going out with him and I'm going with my vehicle, I pick him up and he does not know where I live. So I said, we'll go with me. So then he was like, okay. So yeah, so we made the plan. He said, I told him to get ready for 7 and I left home here. He sent his location via WhatsApp and I left home to go pick him up. I dropped off Corinne by my aunt and I went to pick him up. So he lives about 5 minutes away from me, 5 to 10 minutes away from me so much. And I went to pick him up. So I got to his house. He came out all excited. He was looking at me like, I felt creeped out by it, but I just didn't take it on. So he's in the car and we're on our way to Queen's Park, Savannah. What happened? That was the most boring car ride because I didn't have much to say, and he was just talking about pictures that he had taken out on his iPhone, and I'm just there like, okay. And he's just there going on and on and on about how the quality of these pictures and how he's so proud of it. And the pictures was pictures of stones and pictures of a net, but it wasn't anything to be like super duper proud of. I don't know. So we are continuing on the way now on the journey, and he says, oh, by the way, I need to stop by an ATM to get some money. So I'm like, oh. So he said, yeah, I don't have any cash on me, so I need to stop to get some money. I'm like, huh? Now, the was basically because I'm thinking, you've asked me out on a date. I've said to you we could go Queen's Park, Savannah. You have a vehicle. You're not living that far away from an ATM machine that you could have driven out, gotten your cash, come back home to be prepared to go on a date with me. I was also very confused because everybody knows Queen's Park, Savannah is street food. That means that persons in the Savannah don't have ATM machines. That means you should be prepared. Before I went to get him, took out money, and I am the type of person that doesn't walk around with cash. So I was like, the hell? Like that? Okay. So I said, I don't know if I feel, because it's nighttime in town too. I said, I don't know if I feel comfortable stopping at an ATM though. How come you didn't stop to take out money prior to meeting? Gil, you know how it is go. I forget and I'm like, okay. So I said, is it that you're planning to purchase food while there? He said, no, I good. I don't want, all I want is Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I said, well, okay, good. I said, I'll pay for my food. We'll eat and then you'll go get your ice cream. He said, you sure? I said, I'm certain. He said, you sure? I said, I'm fine. I'm certain. He said, all right, cool. Now, the thing about it is, I am comfortable handling my stories for whatever I am choosing to eat. So the issue of purchasing food there was not an issue to purchase my own food, right? And I also believe like first dates don't come for me, but splitting the bill and stuff, splitting the bill, I'm okay with splitting the bill on a first date because I mean, at the end of the day, you have no clue how things are going to go, and so you have to, as a female, you have to come prepared. You know, you can't just walk in on a first date with your hands swinging and expect the man to take care of. Because I mean, then you could end up not liking him, and then what? He pay for a meal, and then like no. So I would walk with my own monies on a first date, right? So we got to the savannah, and I went to my usual place. I like the soup, so I went to the soup guy and I purchased my soup. And I asked him, I said, "Are you sure you don't want anything from the savannah?" This was me being nice. "Are you sure?" He was like, "No, I good. I don't want anything. I just want ice cream." So I was like, "Okay, cool." Bought the soup, and then we went back to the car to sit because there's no seating arrangements in the savannah. And I think at that point in time, we couldn't eat at the place that you purchased the food. So we went back to the car and we sat. And this man is just sitting down there looking at me. So I said, "Could you not do that? Because like I'm trying to eat and I feel uncomfortable with you staring at me like that." He said, "No, it's just that you're so pretty and whatever." I'm like, okay. I ate my soup and he went back to showing me pictures. And then I said, "All right, so you want to go for your ice cream now?" He's like, "All right, cool. Yes, let's go. Let's go get the ice cream." So I started the car because I really wanted to get out of this date. I was like, "Let's go." I start the car and stuff. So then he's like, "Do you want ice cream?" I said, "No, not really, because I need to be in a mood for ice cream. I've just had soup. It's cool. I will do without it." So he's like, "All right, cool. Um, you passing up on Haagen-Dazs, boy. Haagen-Dazs real decent." And I'm like, "I know Haagen-Dazs tastes lovely. I just need to be in a mood to eat it, and I'm not in that mood tonight. Sorry." So he was like, "All right, cool." So when we got there, I was like, "Would you like for me to accompany you inside?" He said, "No, no, it's okay. I good." So I was like, "All right, cool." So while he's inside, I'm texting my best friend. I'm like, "This is the worst date ever. I don't think I could go out with this guy again. I do not know why I'm here. He is so boring." And I was going on. I went on a tangent with how things went with that date. And after the date, I had a birthday lime to go to, right? I want to believe the first date was in November, right? So we started talking in the end of July, and the first date was in November. So my best friend is now like, "No, Caroline, you cannot be like that. You have to be a little bit more open-minded and stuff." And I'm sure it wasn't that bad, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, "Oh my God." He came back in the car and he was like, "Oh, this ice cream is so yum, and I'm enjoying this ice cream," and some that about the ice cream. And I'm just there like, okay. We didn't really have anything much to say thereafter. So the car ride back home was very silent. I said to myself, "Well, Caroline does it there. You're not going out on another date with this dude because he's hella boring. And you're not impressed. You're not impressed. To thine own self be true. And the truth is, this is not going to work out." I dropped him home and he came out the car and he stuck his head back in the car and he was like, this was really nice. I had a will we on the same date? Because, and he was like, no, I really did have a good time. I said, all right, cool. And I left and I went to the birthday party. When I was at the birthday party now, he's messaging me. I totally enjoyed my time with you tonight. You're so gorgeous. And so I'm like, sir, I feel like we went on two different dates. I feel like you had all this fun and I probably wasn't there while you were having the fun. He said you didn't have fun. I said it was mediocre, to say the least. So he's like, oh, well, I need to fix that. Would you give me another chance? Because I thought we were having fun or whatever. So would you allow me the opportunity to fix it? So I said, okay, against my better judgment again. So then there came the text thereafter trying to figure out when we we're going to do this makeup date, because he really wanted to give me some sort of experience that I missed, because clearly he was having all this fun and I missed it. So he wanted to make up. He kept asking me, so when can we go out again or whatever. I checked my schedule. I realized that I had a day off. But on the day off, I had set up for a COVID test because I had to do surgery on my knee. At that point in time, I had to do surgery on my knee. So I said, okay, well, we will kill two birds with one stone. I have a day off today. However, on this day off, I have to go to the hospital. I have to do a COVID test because I'm going to do surgery soon, and they need to test me to see if I have COVID before they determine next steps, when I'm going to do the surgery, etc. So he's like, all right, cool. So where do you want to go? So I said, maybe we could go to Manzanilla Beach. Now, Manzanilla is one of the nastiest beaches in Trinidad. Sorry. But it was easy. It was easy because the hospital is in Sandy Grande, and Manzanilla is not that far away from Grande, right? So I was like, Manzanilla, we'll sit down on the boardwalk, talk and get to know each other, and then when it's time for my appointment, you'll go with me, and you'll go with me and wait in the cars. I go inside to get my COVID test, and then when I'm through, we'll leave, and maybe if we have time, go hang somewhere, climb somewhere or something. So the morning came around. He asked me what vehicle we're going with. I said, be back at this point again. I said, you could go with me. I said, however, I will not be driving because I'm accustomed whenever I'm going out with my male friends don't let me drive. As soon as I pick them up, it's basically like hop into the passenger seat and they will take over the steering and they will drive. So I'm not accustomed driving men around. So I told him, you'll drive. So he was like, okay, cool. He was so very excited because he has a fridge in his car and he wanted to bring the fridge in mine. So I was like, what is a fridge? Why do we need a fridge? So he was like to keep the drinks cold. So I was like, okay, this is doing the most, but all right, cool. If you want to bring a fridge, bring your fridge, bro. I don't want to stop you from being great. Got there for him, picked him up. He brought out the fridge. I took a picture of the fridge. I wonder if I still have a picture of it. Anyways, I took a picture of the fridge and I sent it to a friend of mine, and we catch kicks. And we left to come to go to Manzanilla. Along the way, he's quarreling about my music, saying, oh, this music is not road what's the word he looks what is the word he said, road trip friendly. So I'm like, first of all, if you knew you had a specific type of music that you have to listen to while you're driving on the road, you should have said something. Secondly, this is my vehicle and we will listen to what I listen to. So he was like, it's all right, but not this music. This is not this music. So I think I would have changed it to hip hop or something like that, and we continued along the way. When we got to Manzanilla Boardwalk, I sat down. He came out with the drinks. What you want to drink? I said, good. I really wasn't hungry. So then he starts asking questions. How was your week? What you did for the week, etc. And I'm just there like, then thankfully he got a call from work. So when he got the call from work, I got up and I moved to take out pictures by the lifeguard booth. I was enjoying my picture taking when my doctor called me and she was like, Caroline, you need to leave and you need to leave home and come down the road now because I'm finished with surgery for the day. I am going into clinic and we would not be in clinic very long today. So, and I want you to speak to the consultant because the consultant looked at the x-rays and he's of the view that it is not the fibula that we thought was the issue. It might be something else. So he needs to come, he needs to run some tests and you need to come quickly. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went back to the guy and I said, hi, I just got a call from my doctor. She said that I need to come to Grandy now. So he's like, already? So I was like, yeah, well, we kind of knew that, I was also coming here waiting on a call. So what could happen is when I'm through with the appointment, if there is enough time, we could probably hit the mall or do something else. But I need to leave now. So he was like, oh, okay, no problem. So now we are going to Grandy and he is itching all the way, itching with a capital B, all the way to Grandy about how he don't know Grandy and he don't know how to get there and which road to use to get to the hospital, and like he is just going on and on and on. So in my head I'm like, this guy just does not want to drive, but I am not moving from the passenger seat because I feel like that's part of chivalry that you I don't know. I might be wrong, but I feel like that's part of chivalry. So I did not budge. I did not even offer. I just was like, you're driving. So he drove to Grandy. I told him when to turn left, right, well, whatever. And I told him when we got to the hospital, I said, okay, so I'm going in now. You could park by the Enhanced Center, which is the Enhanced Health Center, which is like 3 minutes away from the hospital. You can park inside there, and when I'm through I will give you a call and you'll come back for me. So he was like, all right, cool. So I went in. The doctor did a whole lot of tests to check to see my range of motion, my knees, and after the test I was in so much pain, right? And then he said, you're not going to get the surgery. What we will do is you will go and take an MRI and we'll see if there's a deeper issue, and after we get the results from the MRI we'll determine what are the next steps. He said we will not we will write the referral letter, sorry, and you will take it to Mount Hope, but there is no guarantee that at Mount Hope you're going to get it in a timely manner. So I was like, he said, but you can pay between $35 to $4,000 for one done privately. It's like, okay, thanks. And I left. And I was hurt. I was distraught because I wanted to get rid of this pain in my knee so badly. And I just felt like this consultant came and upset the whole plan because I was preparing myself mentally for the surgery, right? So I called him while I was walking back out, and I told him, I said, I'm through, so you can come for me. Homeboy says to me, you know you can walk by the Enhanced Health Center. My response, no, you'll come for me. He said, not far. I said, sir, I know how far the health center is, and I'm saying to you, you will come for me. Now, pause on that, right? One, it's my vehicle, right? It's my car, my gas. Why are you making an issue to drive my car to the hospital to pick me up? Why? Especially because before I left, I said to him, come get me where you dropped me off. The reason for me saying that was simply because I knew that I was going to do some test on my knee. I know how my knee felt, felt, and how much pain I would have been in. So how dare he try to tell me that I should walk to the Enhanced Health Center? So I said, no, I'm not walking. I'm standing right here. You will come around and pick me up where you dropped me off. So he was like, well, all right, I'll come in. So when he got there now, a girlfriend of mine from work called me, and she was like, hey, how did the appointment go and whatever. So I was telling her that, I had to do the MRI and whatever, and I jumped in the car. When I jumped in the car now, on the sideline again, itching. I don't know Grandy, I don't know Grandy and this and that about how to turn off and how to get out and whatever. So I'm talking to her and I'm getting irritated because in my head I'm like, you just don't want to drive. And for me, it's better you see, hey, I don't want to do the driving thing right now. Could you take over the wheel or whatever? I would have gladly taken back the wheels of my car and driven. But you prefer to itch about it, right? So that was annoying me. So I told her, I said, I will call you back. And I hung up the phone. So I said, is it that you have a problem with driving? Is it that you want me to drive? So he said, nobody just ever, like, I'm trying to remember how he phrased it because I was so irritated by him. He said, essentially, if somebody offers him to drive, he will never say no, right? So I said, in my head, I'm like, I was not offering you to drive. I'm trying to figure out what the issue is because you keep itching about it. So I was like, is it that you want me to drive? He said I wouldn't say no. I said, all right, well, get out, park up your car, get out from the driver's seat and let me drive. Now, I want you all to bear in mind, I was in a lot of pain, right? So when I came into the car and I came off the phone, he never even asked if everything was okay. Like, at no point did he say, how did the testing go? And so I was turned off. So we at the hospital, you want me to walk? So that was strike number one. Strike number two happened when you're there quarreling. You never ask me how I'm feeling, if I'm experiencing any pain. You never ask any questions. And then you insist that I drive. So that was strike number two. So now I'm driving and he's there trying to talk, but he's talking and I'm not hearing him because I'm here thinking about how am I going to get the MRI? If I have, where am I going to find $4,000 to pay for an MRI? Because I know how the health system could be in Trinidad, that you could have to be put on a waiting list for months before you get certain tests done and completed here. So I was like, oh my God, where am I going to get this money from? And I was in my own zone, in my own space. And he said, talking about nothing at all. Okay, so then we get out of Grandy and we are now on the highway and I'm heading to drop him off. But then when I look at the gas gauge, I'm like, oh, I'm coming. I'm the type of person that when it's 2 bars, I feel like I need to top up, even though I know that the 2 bars could take me a cool distance. I still would want to top up the gas. So I said, okay, I turned and I said to him, the car needs gas, so I'm going to stop by the gas station and I'm going to get gas. So he's like, okay, cool. At that point in time, Lauryn Hill was, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill's album was playing. So he was like, he started talking about, I think, Do Up, that thing was playing. And he was like, what thing you think she talking about? So I'm looking at him like, dude, you are friggin' 49. Why are you asking me such a stupid question? I said, everybody knows what she's talking about when she sang that song. He said, really, everybody? And I'm like, I zoned him out. So now we're by the lights to turn off to get the gas. So when we pull up to the gas station now, I said to him, knowing that my knees were hurting and also recalling that he never even asked to this point if everything is okay with me, I said, is it possible that you could come out and pump the gas for me? No. Let me just put a disclaimer here one time. In all my driving years and driving with any male companions, whether it's a new person that I've met or whether it's a friend, once we roll in a gas station, I don't even have to ask. I don't even have to ask for anybody to pump the gas for me. And sometimes I don't have to pay. I turned to him and I said to him, can you pump the gas? Because I was going to pay for my own gas. I was not asking him to pay for me. I just wanted him to pump the gas because I know how I was feeling. Again, my knees were hurting. He turns to say to me in my face, I know that you are independent, capable, strong woman who could pump her own gas. I looked at him. I said, you're right. You're right. I got out the car. I hobbled to the cashier, paid for my gas, walked around the car, pumped the gas. Meanwhile, he's on his phone and I'm seeing him in the front seat, texting and laughing and texting and laughing. And that was irritating me even more. I said, this is strike 3. I will not be going out with him again. I will not, he will never see me in life again. So, what happened? I jumped in the car and it was silence between Tumpuna Lights and Arouca because that's where he lives, right? So between Tumpuna Lights and Arouca, silence. I dropped him off. He told me he had a good time again. And I'm like, this idiot. I didn't see anything. He took out his fridge and he left. When I got home, I called one of my guy friends and I told them what happened. I was like, the hell, what is wrong with you men in 2020? That was my stress. Like, I don't understand. Like, how? So my friend was like, well, Caroline, I really don't know. In the first place, you shouldn't have gone with him the second time around. Like, you need to follow your instinct. When your instinct tell you something from jump, you need to, And then he was like, yeah, I would not have gone back out with him if the first date was such a travesty, right? I said, you know what, I'm going to call him and I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. So he's like, yeah, well, you're entitled to do that because things didn't really go well. And he needs to be aware that, There's a way to do things. So when I was finished with my friend, I gave him a call. I said, I need to speak to you. So he said, why, what happened? So I said, I don't know if something is wrong with you, if you don't realize when, like, you are in the wrong, or something is wrong with a situation. But I cannot understand how you could have left today saying that you had a good time. I said, and then I listed everything that happened, obviously in the order that it happened. And I said to him, I said, no part of today was a good day. I said, and my last straw, the last straw for me was you telling me that I'm an independent black woman who's strong or whatever, and I could pump my own gas. I said, no point in time in our sojourn back home did you ask me if everything was okay, if I'm in pain, how did the thing go? At no point in time you asked me a question concerning my health, which is what we went to the hospital to see about. I said, furthermore, what you said was disrespectful. So then he got all defensive. I was just making a joke. I was just making a joke. I said, and so at what point did the joke end? Because from my recollection, if that was supposed to be a joke, at some point in time, you would have said, all right, let me come out the car and actually go and pump the gas, right? But you didn't. You sat in your car on your phone talking to whoever you were talking to, having a good old time while I'm standing there pumping the gas. So it was not a joke. You were serious and you need to own it. I said, this is probably why you are A, divorced, and B, still single, and why you probably will remain single. I said, at the end of this, don't call me, don't text me. Matter of fact, I'm going to block you. And generally, I don't block people. I might delete your number, but I don't block people. So he was one of the very first people to be blocked by me. He found me back. He went looking for me on Tinder to say he didn't understand why I blocked him. And I blocked him there as well. And that is the end of my story. The moral of the story is follow your mind. When your mind says, no, 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 it really meant no. It really meant don't do it, because you'll be torturing yourself thereafter. And with that, I hope you guys had a great time. My story time today. Tell me if you want to see more content like this. Have a good day. Stay safe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.